gateway application. With SMS gateway. Yeah, I'll just show you one existing gateway. Okay, how it will behave. Let's understand so that we will integrate the similar gateway for our application also. So as per architecture, we learned right. We need a gateway. Via gateway only, we have to uh, forward each request to our backend services instead of exposing all the backend service URLs to front ends, right? Yeah, let me. Yeah, we will speed up the session. Okay, once done with this thing, right? Remaining services we will implement fat and then we can shift the focus to tools also. Okay. Here you can see cloud config. This already we have done. So all the configurations for backend services, we are reading from cloud config only so that we centralize the configurations. Similarly, instead of exposing multiple applications URLs, we build one service, uh, admin service for admin operations. Similar way, we build later manager, seller, customer. We can't give these URLs again for each environment. During dev URLs you need to share during SIT URLs, UAT, prod, instead of exposing the URL and giving access to this front end, right? So the problem is here if you don't centralize the access, right? For all the front end applications, you need to code here cores. Let's say admin UI is running in one server and this admin service is running in another server. You need to allow this domain where UI is running, right? UI URL as a allowed URL, we should configure here. For how many environments do I need to do that? If I have four environments, all four environments URLs I need to put here. Somehow dynamically I should manage that here. And it is very difficult to manage it. In future, if I change the domain here, sometimes domain upgradations will be happened. If you see when a company purchased by some other company, they will change all the domain URLs, at least their extensions or something. When they want to change the URL here, like Amazon.in, we have here, Amazon.in, we have here. In case if somebody purchased Amazon, like RBU, or Amazon purchased RBU, earlier we have RBU.in for selling. Let's say we have some specialized products that we are selling via RBU. Later, they thought that they want to integrate that RBU also with their domain itself by putting something RBU products dot Amazon dot in. When they change this domain URL, when they change this domain URL, or when they add new URL, something again you should go to your front end and that front end URL you should configure here in Force. In this backend application, what we have done in Force, we actually configured. Basically we don't have here. We actually added cars right in our application. So using cars crash origin, right? We can put all the allowed URLs so that only that allowed URLs only will be hitting to your backend. Somehow we can manage security instead of calling by everybody, right? If whoever knows this URL, they can call. If you don't have that course control, maybe within your company itself, they might have thousands of applications. If some developer team, if they know your URL from their domain or from their local mission, they may hit your service. Maybe for testing knowingly or accidentally, they may post some data, right? So such accesses we should not give. Only allowed front ends only hit the backends. So configuring all the front ends into the backends is difficult job. So what we do instead of that, for all these backend services, we allow only one application access, that is gateway. Gateway is allowed to any application. Gateway can meet admin, gateway can meet a manager, seller, customer delivery. And all front ends can hit only gateway. So we do two types of mappings here. Front end to gateway mapping, gateway to backend mapping. Right? When I get a request from front end, gateway will receive the request and it will forward it. So simple forward mechanism is implemented in gateway. So all the requests will come here and go to service. This is like a filter. And this gateway will provide so many benefits that we go, later. We can handle security here. All the centralized configurations we can manage via gateway. Even load balancing also we can achieve via gateway. Okay. So to implement gateway, what we need to do, if you see here, this is gateway application, Spring Boot gateway only. If you see form dependencies, what dependencies I have here? Spring Boot Cloud gateway dependency I have. Just one dependency you should add, gateway. So this will get the gateway features. Gateway is like a middleman between front end and your backends. Between your front end and backends in microservices, remember that we will be having gateways, either your custom implementation or cloud provided gateways. Mostly, right? Last two applications whichever I used, we used APIM gateway we used. Similar concept, a predefined service from Azure. This one we used as a gateway. What we used to do in this gateway application, whatever applications we build on daily basis, right? We used to work on multiple microservices. Once done with each microservice application, right? It's dev URL, SIT URL, production URLs, all that URLs we used to configure in gateway application. So again, each service will have different set of URLs, right? Admin service. For each environment, we will have a different server. Okay. So maybe dev have a different URL, SIT you have a different URL, because the servers itself different, IP address itself different. Okay. So when I shift from one environment to other environment, the URLs of your backend application also will change. Different set of URLs we will have for all the services. What we used to do, we used to register all that URLs into APIM. It's like a API gateway. Here we used to put all the URLs, actual URL and the front end URL. So actual access, which URL we wanted to give, right? We used to configure this admin service URL here. And for this admin service, APIM used to provide a different URL. Instead of giving direct access of your admin URL, right? It will provide a gateway URL for it. And we used to share this gateway URL to the other end team. the front end teams or any integration teams or testing teams, they used to access, either it's your testing team or UI team. Testing team may be like from Postman if they want to access, or if they want to access a Swagger, whatever it is. This gateway URL only we used to share. So when they call this gateway, the request will be dispatched from gateway to backend service. When they use this, the request will dispatch from gateway to actual services. So that I need not to struggle for all the front end applications. Today I have two applications. Continuously, this front end applications count are increasing. By one day, I have 50 UI different set of applications or 50 clients I have. All they want to access my admin service. I need not to bother about all these UI application domains. I need not to configure them here in course. Here I need not to put all that URLs. UI URLs I need not to put. Instead of 50 UI application URLs, what I can do, all 50 or tomorrow, still it is continuously increasing. I need to go and configure them. So it is very difficult to us. And flow also not centralized. Everybody will hit your URL. We can't get the flow. In case in future, if you want to discard one UI application, if you want to remove it, again you should go to each and every application and you need to check which all URL scores you have configured. You need to disable them, right? That's a difficult job. So what we do here, we put only gateway URL here, which means all your applications will allow gateway request from whichever server it is coming. So UI can hit gateway, gateway can forward request to admin service. And here you will have privileges, security you can apply here. Maybe a kind of authorization. Check who is coming to hit this admin service, whether he is a proper user, he is an admin user, does he have access, then only you can forward it. If you don't have access, you can reject it. Simple security you can apply here and you can log it, whatever operations you want to do, right? You can do them in this centralized application so that we can easily monitor which all requests are coming to our backend applications. Let your backend applications like 100 plus of backend applications you can have, 100 plus front end applications you have. Integrating that front end and back end will become easy via gateway. Apart from that, security is a big concern, right? So that is also will become simple because I'm sure that all requests are definitely coming to the gateway. Without gateway, they can't go. So I'll be handling security here. If security succeeded, then only I'll forward the request to backend. Else I can reject it here. Okay, such a powerful application, the gateway is. And for implementing it, if you are not using any cloud provided gateway, simple. Create a Spring Boot project, add gateway dependency, Spring Cloud Starter Gateway, and here I have some properties. In these properties, if you see, these are all my backend applications. Just consider I have one admin service. So this is my admin service URL. I need to give the destination, right? How gateway knows admin deployed in so and so location. We need to provide the destination of your backend URLs here. So admin service deployed into some 9100 and manager deployed into 9000 and seller deployed into 9090. Something like this, you can put all the backend URLs. And who can hit them? Who can hit this backend service if you consider this is admin service? Who can able to hit your backend service? Whoever is having the request slash hello, which means let's say in your domain if you have slash admin, right? Amazon.in slash admin, Amazon.in, let's say admin.amazon.in, something domain if you have here, you may put that domain URL. If the domain is available, then it will take it forward. Consider like this: if you have some subdomain or slash something in your URL, you can put that URL here, URL path, your front end path. This is front end path, this is back end path. If you remember servlets, right? Just a minute. I went from new link to join the class. Just a minute. Okay, where we are? Yeah. So here you can see this is front end mapping. Predicates are front end mappings. So gateway will have multiple backend URLs and front end URLs. If you remember, right, web.xml file in servlets, how we used to configure front end URL pattern to backend servlet, we used to configure, right? Same kind of stuff we used to put here. Predicates here belongs to front end URL path, whatever it is. If it have slash admin with the slash blah blah blah, whatever it is, he is allowed to access admin service. Without this URL, he is not accessible. So who will use this admin path? Only admin team UI people will use it. So their request is allowed to forward to admin service. And I have not configured any other path here. If you have multiple paths, you can configure. Let's say if admin wants to access other services, you can put admin URL here, here, everywhere if you want to really access it. But until unless business doesn't require that access, you need not to allow, right? So inside gateway, we will be configuring all these paths. We will be having one gateway application only. There we will put all the paths and backend URLs and running this admin, gateway in 500, 5000. Why I picked this is during AWS deployment, right? AWS will prefer to deploy applications which needs public access, right? 5000 it recommends, so I used it. We can try that as well later. Okay. So we can deploy all our services into AWS and gateway as well. So on gateway access we can give to all the front ends, and front end to back end mapping we can do it. So in simple words, you can remember this is the middleman between your front end and back end. Without API gateway, we will not give access to backends. Gateway is important for any microservices applications. In microservices application, if you don't see gateway, you should ask where is the gateway. Maybe during first starting they may not done with the complete infrastructure setup, but at any cost people should use API gateway. Without the API gateway, we can't map. We can map, but that is not the right approach. If we do that, then there is no centralized access. The remaining features like security and any centralized features like logging, if you want to apply them, they will become very difficult. Okay. And how you can write a security if you want, logging if you want. You can write a simple component in your gateway application, a simple component. This is like your filter. Implement it from global filter. You need to override one filter. If you remember servlet filters concept, right? There will be a filter implementation. When we override filter, it will ask to override do filter. When this filter method will execute while while you are sending your request from front end to back end, right? First it will come here. First it will come here and verifies. If you want to verify if it is a security, as it is not security, I'm just doing simple logging here. So this log will execute, and after that when you call chain dot filter, right, the request will take it forward to backend service. Okay. So in case if you want to write anything, Yes, ready-made gateways only mostly we use. Correct. Like APIM. Have you heard APIM? Hmm. Azure APIM. Yeah. Simple gateway application like I used APIM. There should be. Gateway concept is a simple concept. Must that gateway should available in all the clouds. Maybe basic authentication if you have all the configuration. Yes, load balancing it will. Okay. Yeah. In case if gateways are not providing it. Okay. Yeah. 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 Yes. Go. Mhm, mhm. Yeah. 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 We will do that. Yeah. Sure. So if you are using any existing gateways, if they are not providing some feature, okay, what you can do, you can implement one more gateway. You can implement one more gateway, okay, your custom gateway, and you can map. Mostly this is not recommended, okay. Security concerns also they must be. I haven't configured any security, but mostly that should be available, okay, because this is the central point where we authenticate. Yeah. Your own customization if you want to require, then you should implement. Okay. Beyond, yes, yes. There will be ready-made gateways only, ready-made load balancers only. People will use who prefer cloud. Nowadays, people again, returning back. Is it providing gateway? I'm not sure. Okay. Huh. Then, yeah, maybe then it must have this access then if it is doing load balancer. Because load balancer job is what when you get users when you get request here, when it see the load on existing available service, so if it see that is busy, it should redirect to the next available service. Same code we can deploy it into multiple pods, multiple ports. So you can redirect to one port. If one port is busy, you can redirect to another port. Load balancer will do that. You can name, yeah, in interviews you people confidently say used APIM gateway. That is similar to this only. They use they will provide UI only. Let me show you that as well. If we Google it, we can get these screenshots, right? APIM. Yeah, depends. If you say using cloud, then yeah. See, yeah, see, create API management, something like this. We will be seeing UI. So there we configure APIs, right? This kind of console we used to get. On that console, Azure console is very user friendly. It will show all the options here. So you can go to APIs. There you can add your API, add new API. You can see, right. So there we will add new API so that it will provide you one encrypted URL when you add a new API, right. So it will take your actual original URL and it will provide one encrypted URL that you can share it to the UI team. Or else UI team also can visit to this APIM URL, okay? APIM one endpoint URL will be there. They can visit it and they can see. all the listed or registered URLs from the Azure. Okay, and here itself you can configure that cars also, which all front ends can access this, right? All that will be provided here. Activity logs, usually API tags, simple, nothing to implement. Just you need to go to this and add your URL. That's it. It will generate one more URL that you should share with your front end teams. A simple dashboard. In Azure, mostly things are very simple. Deploying your code, creating new functions in terms of your backend services, database services, procuring infrastructure. They made it very simple, right? Though AWS is popular, using it a little bit difficult, whereas Azure is so much easy. If you see one time easily, you can access and you can deploy your applications easily. Okay, maybe you can get one a free Azure account, and you may create one database service, one gateway service, one Azure function also. Azure functions are like Lambda functions. For each user request, the complete application will wake up and it will process the request and it will go down. For small, users count applications, right? Let's say admin application I have. Mostly admins may not request frequently, daily, one or twice, once or twice they may hit it. So for all such applications, you need not to reserve a dedicated server. Simple Azure functions or Lambda kind of stuff is you know enough. So they will charge you per request in case of Azure functions, right? For request wise, they charge. Let's say for whole month, 10 requests only hit to your application, only for each request basis. For each request, if it is 1 rupee or 2 rupees, for your 10 requests, 20 rupees only they will charge. Like that, Azure functions, are most cost friendly. In terms, if you have very low users request, if you have huge users request, in such scenarios, you may go with dedicated servers or dedicated services. Anyway, so you can use existing APM gateways, or you can implement your own gateway application also. It can handle both load balancing as well. And log, yeah. So this log, right? You are asking, this filter will execute for each and every request for all front ends. Whatever front ends hits your back end, right? That request first it will come to this filter method. So here, whatever log here I have, right? This log will be executed before your request. So from here, your request will be forwarded to backend service. Request will forward to backend. And once the request is completed, correct, centralized login. Again, for each service, you can have again its own logs. But I want some centralized console where I can able to monitor what all requests came, when it went to so and so service. Something if I want to log, I can do log here. Okay. We discuss about logging separately. Okay. One session I will take. There we will discuss how we can have log for JNR application, all best practices, and log configurations we will see. So this is a simple log using self-j logger. You can, there are annotations also, I believe. Self-j, if you use SL for, yeah, maybe some dependence if you add using annotation also you can achieve it. SLF, but not available. Dependency I should add. Yeah. If I add, then this instance also not required. One static logger reference it will provide you. Then you can do wherever you want, infos or errors. Okay. And one more filter also I implemented. Oh, sorry, this is application. Yeah. For security, if you want to have centralized security, implement one more and implement security there and verify whoever request coming, right, whether it is authorized or not. Okay. So let's apply this to our application. Okay. Let's apply this to our application. I will just create the same application, or let's import it. Okay. Mm, yes, yes. Just a minute. Okay. Yeah. So let me import it. Gateway. Existing Maven. Browse. Yeah. So always you need to start config server first before your services, right? Because configurations were centralized via this config server only. We are getting them. So let's start this first, then your admin service. And here, let me configure. Let me configure URL. My admin service is running in which port? Admin service. It is running in port number 9090 in my local host. So I'll put localhost 9090. Here my admin service is running. ID of your application, which means your application name admin service. You may put name. This is a simple application name. Okay. So now via this URL, what we are saying, and the URL pattern, right? Which URL patterns can be allowed from front end? We are calling web. This is our controller, and this is our URL API slash v1 slash manager. So you may put that pattern here, and you can say whoever wants to access, they need to use this URL, or else you may put admin slash API something. So you can put slash admin. What? So this is configuration spring.cloud.gateway.routes. This is the front end to back end mapping. This request will come from. Huh. Who will request gateway? Correct. Front end. From front end. So from front end, I am expecting this URL pattern. When this URL patterns comes here, this is my backend URL. It will route to when you request with this URL, your request will be routed to this URL. That means you need not to give access of your admin service URL to front end. Now onwards, we will remove this URL access to front end. We give only gateway access to them. They call gateway port number 5000. With this port number, when the request URL behind the scene, right, it will forward your request to 9090 server that you can see here. And here Eureka, in case if you want to integrate gateway with Eureka load balancer, right, you can start that Eureka also. I have Eureka server. Let me integrate that as well here. Eureka gateway. Yeah. So for this gateway, we have used simple Eureka dependencies here. Netflix Eureka. Okay, you can add this dependency and in properties file by default port number which used to run 8888 something. Not sure. Yeah, we will see. Eureka is like your load balancer. It will act like a load balancer. One service, correct? Yeah. So it will run on 8761. All your services automatically will registered into Eureka. All your services will pointed to Eureka and it will register there. We will see it again. It's a configuration stuff we should do. Without Eureka, we will do it. Yeah. Yes. 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 Go ahead. Eureka is like a dashboard. Yeah. Am I audible? Eureka is like a dashboard. There we can register all our services, all our failovers. Okay. Both together also we can implement by integrating this gateway dependencies and Eureka dependencies. Gateway's job is doing gateway operation. Eureka job is doing load balancing operations. So when I try to request this admin service on this port number, if it is not available, what Eureka will do? If it is not available in 9090, if it is available in 9191, automatically taken care of your admin service. Let me remove this predicate server. Eureka never hit. Always gateway approaches the Eureka for the availability. We talk about it, okay? Uh, just just realize what is gateway. So config server. Let's start. Config server is going to start. So once config server is started, your properties will be available. Configurations. Immediately start your admin service backend and start this gate. So gateway also started in port number 500. So now if somebody wants to know the URL, which URL they can able to access, they can visit this gateway application and they can understand 500 swagger UI.html. So this is API gateway dashboard. In API gateway dashboard, it is showing the registered service. There is one service, localhost 9090 is registered, nothing apart from it, right? Yeah. So you can see in this gateway, this is registered. So this is actual backend. So how you, sorry, am I going with the wrong one, right? 500, is the swagger enabled? No, it's okay. Maybe via Eureka we can get access. Anyway, gateway is accessible now. Via gateway you can post anything to your admin service. So now check the front end. We added admin also, right? In URL we have added 9090 slash admin slash API. Now I don't want to access that host directly. I will access only my gateway. So via this gateway, can I able to make request or not? I will see. Let's check it. Open this front end. Manager link. So we are trying to accessing it. No access controlled allow options is present. Gateway is not allowing it now. Earlier I used to access 900 directly. Now your gateway not allowing it. Okay, okay. You know the reason, right? Let's see. We changed in one place only. For get we added admin slash something wrong URL we mentioned. So admin URL is one service we have admin slash API one manager only. Okay. We added some extra dot RBU that is not aligned. Let's refresh it. Yeah, now we got the data. So actual request went through via gateway application. So as a front end now, as a front end people, you will get only gateway URL. For other applications, right? It is admin service, maybe admin slash API. For seller, you will see seller slash API, customer slash API, delivery slash API. On the same host you will be calling it. And who is going to taking care of it? Gateway will forward all this request to backend. And between, right, your gateway must execute it. Go and see your gateway log. See global pre-filter executed, post filter, pre-filter, post filter. Two times it was executed. See, so logging is executing from your gateway application. From there, actually, it is taking forward to actual backend. Same way, one more post link also. Only get we implemented. Only get only, right? Yeah, I think the get only we implemented. Post not yet done. Yeah, for the post also same thing you should do. On click off for save, right? We need to add a post method via the post method. Same gateway you need to call. Then it will take it forward to actual back. Somehow we will try to make this URLs also dynamically. If it is an Angular maintaining environment variable simple, yeah, we will find the way here also. Via some JavaScript function, we will try to fetch this URLs dynamically. Because in localhost, this is fine. When I shift it to dev or SIT, UAT, prod, these links again will get changed. So always do you go to the code and change it? No. Interrupting each and every page is not a good job. We configured them in a properties file here somewhere and we will read it from there. So that directly we can go to the properties file and we can change the environment name. So based on the environment, we could able to pick up the properties. Your given URLs also will make something dynamic. Okay. Tomorrow we will see load balancer and can you guys do this task? I'll share these three applications with you today. Now itself, let me log into Git and share them with you. Just load it into. Where do you? Okay. Let me create one repository. Eureka. Eureka. Yeah. Okay. So just uh, just a minute. I need to upload these three services, right? Let me upload them. Admin service. Just load them into your. Just import into your local and run them in a order. I'll give you the order. Okay. Compress to zip. 60 MB file not able to upload. Right. Let me delete target. Yeah. Admin service. Zip is done. Config server. So try to create the same set of database configurations, or else change change the git path, right? RBU config is connected with my properties which I configured in git. Okay, so maybe you can change that git path, create one git project, add your required configurations there. Config server is done. SMS gateway. Okay, and okay, front end also. Okay, right. Try post method also. Okay, try post operation also. Bootstraps and I'm not sure I can able to upload it in single go or not. Let me see. Okay, yeah. Okay, so import this into your Visual Studio or Eclipse front end, and import these three projects. Okay, into STS. First start config server, then next to gateway, then next this admin service. Okay, or let me add it into readme file. Extract zip files after download, and import backend services into STS, front end services into Visual VCS, Visual Code Studio. Maintain same database schema and username and password available in Git cloud config. Else you can create new Git repo and add your properties and change the URL in the cloud config server. Okay, in cloud config server I have given my git path here, right? You can change it. You can have your own git URL here. First go to this file and check these properties. Maybe you can copy them and override with your schema name and with your username passwords. Okay, so you just create one git account. In that git account, create a new project, add one more properties file. Okay, as I created new project, right? Similarly, you can do that, or else maintain the same properties. Yeah. Tomorrow we'll see load balancer, and between you can try this post method here. Okay. Ah, sorry. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Hmm. Front end may have different technology. Okay. Coming to back end, if the same back end is sufficient, it all depends on the data which they are transferring and receiving, right? For mobile, if they want to make only lightweight information, I don't want to show everything because mobile can't able to show the data which is flexible in web. I may need to have different backend service again. See how flexible this application, I can able to show all these layouts, so much information I can show here. Do you see the similar information in mobile UI? No, I believe. What they need, yeah, they'll treat it as a completely a brand new application. Limited data, they might redirect. Yeah. This concepts backend services, yes. Backends you can have same microservices, or you may have different set of microservices for your mobile front end. Can be same thing. Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Here I don't care whether. Hmm. Here this front end means it can be your UI or Postman or mobile UI, anything. Anybody can patch request to this gateway. Gateway will see the end of the day we are making a REST call. Here you are making a REST call via Ajax. The same REST call only we do via Postman post call we do here. If it is a mobile application like Android, you will be using REST templates only there also. Something REST templates in, yeah, they use there are again in Android many technologies. For Android we have Java and something using, right, apart from Java, and for iPhone applications also they have their own templates to make backend calls even in Angular. Yeah. Yes, yes, correct. The same services they can access across all the UIs, all the front ends, browser applications, mobile applications, anything, anybody, or another Java application. They have some more integration application, one more Java based service we have. If this service also if they want to call, they can call. One more Java service also can make a call to gateway and it can be redirected to your backend service. Yes, yes. In my application for the Walmart one, uh, we have the complete backend and front end. For a few images and all, right, there is a complete a team we have. complete for uploading images, colors, and all. They take care of all the graphics. So we given this gateway URL to that graphics team. Graphics team again they are using a different set of applications for graphic designing and posting. From there we used to get actual graphics information, which we used to show colors here, palettes, right? If you see when you click something, the palettes it shows here, color palette. It will ask you to choose colors here. See, so who sends this data? This data will be sent by multimedia teams. So for that, they used to have different applications, different multimedia applications they used to have. So that multimedia applications via gateway, it will post data to our backend services, not only your front end. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's it. Tomorrow we'll see load balancer, and again we'll shift back to coding. All get operations I'll do. Please do post operations. Okay. If you need help, I'll do during the session at least one. But please do all the post to delete. You know, do that exercise so that you will get some hands on, and you will get many doubts also between. Okay, so that we can have a separate session for clarifying.